I finally had a chance to catch up with Nate Conley, the head coach of the East Liverpool Potters. Tough loss against Ursuline. We're going to talk about that. Tough loss against Canfield last night. We're going to talk about that. But the whole key is, as far as what lies ahead, Section Division II final. That's a week from tomorrow. It'll be at the Fieldhouse taking on Zanesville. So this really was the whole idea, recipe. Hard work now, even though some lumps along the way, it's going to pay off. Let's just take a look at the game really that is up close, and that's the game last night against Ursuline. You pulled within 5 at one time, but Castronovo, some big key layups. Shapiro really handling the ball awfully well. You had Kerr, Conrad, and Pease kind of lead the way as far as your scoring is concerned. But let's make no mistake about it. The whole idea was to play the best competition to be prepared for Zanesville in the postseason.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing that we're struggling with right now is my kids want to win. And I need them to see the big picture. They were devastated after last night's loss. And that's what Potter basketball is. When you lose, you get upset. But they got to keep their eye on the prize. We had a great regular season, finished 16-6, lost to some really good basketball teams. Had a chance to beat a good 18-win Canfield team last night. We took the lead with like 5 minutes to go. And like you said, those 3 kids, Quentin Conrad's been playing extremely well over the last month and a half. Kerr's been tremendous all year. Then you got Cohen and Nate who could shoot. And our big men are playing good. Malachi was rim protecting last night. Deshaun Kirby and Preston Dawson. We just got to make sure we keep our eye on that prize, which is next Saturday.
Colin was giving you guys, the head coach of Canfield, a lot of praise. I was reading the Journal, Morning Journal, obviously the Evening Review as well. That's a nice compliment. They now improved to their 18th win. You're stuck on 16. But when you play teams like that, sooner or later, it's just muscle memory. It will kick in when it counts down the road.
Yeah, and that's what we want. Everything was hard in that game. We had to get tough. The Ursuline game, I thought they out-toughed us. I didn't think Canfield did. I think they out-executed us, which was on me. But they didn't out-tough us, and that's how you win playoff games. But being tough, rebounding, we only go up 8 offensive rebounds compared to 17 versus Ursuline, so we cut that in half. So we're going the right track. We wanted to win. We still want to win. We're out there practicing now, getting ready for next week.
Look, a lot of coaches in Western Pennsylvania that I've caught up with, even Lincoln Park, Mike Brisky, paying you a big compliment, saying you've done an incredible job. You've been here long term, and it really is a second season taking on Zanesville. But I remember back in the day, and we're going to talk about it in just a moment. That's a marquee matchup. These two teams, some great matchups in the 90s, and he was a part of them. Of course, I was in the play-by-play aspect of those games, so we'll get to that in a moment. But looking back on this season, and look, you knew it was going to be tough against these teams like Ursuline and Canfield. But all in all, I think you've accomplished a lot of the things that you were setting out to do many months ago when we first got together.
Yes, 16 games, a lot of wins. We let one slide in the OVAC, which we're not happy about. But we went and handled business. We had to go back to Beaver Local and play for the second time. Tough place to play. We went back there and handled our business. I've had fun. It's been a great season. Won a lot of games. I told these kids I don't want to get spoiled or take winning for granted, because there's been some losing seasons around here in the last 20 years. So let's not take that for granted. Let's enjoy the moment. But now we reset. Everyone got the same record. It's like another little preseason with the week leading up to it, so we have to be ready.
So what do you do right now? You're out there with these boys who are perspiring, you're working them. What do you do after all the practice and everything that you go through, and now it's time to really get ready for one opponent because it's one and done in Ohio? So what do you go through?
I have to get creative as a coach because these guys have been going since October, so they don't want to be out there doing drills, for 2 hours. So we cut our practice time down a lot. We only go for about an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 30 minutes, and we get up and down a lot. Keep it fun, keep it interesting. But next week is when we really got to start prepping for Zanesville.
And let's just hope people come out and support this team because they're going to give it everything they have. And look, Zanesville and East Liverpool, man, this is the best. So let's go back to the 90s, some memorable games. I got a lot of them, but I'm sure you've got even more.
Well, I remember 1-2 in the state many years, playing in the sectional final.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's crazy. You think about that. They went on to win the state title a few times, and the closest game was their sectional game against us. I remember all the Zanesville games. I remember all the Wheeling Park games. Those are the fond memories I have growing up as a Potter fan. Those games, and I remember the Blue Devils chant. You remember all those. So
right.
It's going to be fun. I actually went down and watched the game last Tuesday. Went and watched Zanesville play, and it just brought back a lot of great memories from the Zanesville-Liverpool rivalry.
So what do they bring to the table this year?
Well, they're a basketball powerhouse. They're kind of in the middle of Division One, Division Two, so their schedule's Division One heavy. So their record doesn't really indicate how good they are because they've only won 6 games, but they played a tough schedule. They played probably the toughest schedule around. They're well coached. They've got a basketball program, and we're gonna have to bring it because it's not gonna be an easy first game.
And listen, they know the history too, and they love nothing more than to knock off the mighty Potters. Just a message to the fans. The season is ended, and now it's postseason time. And believe me, it's a grind. I've been around it a long time, but when you're doing what he does, it is a grind. Plus, you're trying to educate as a teacher. You're trying to be a husband, a father, a friend. So it can get a little hectic. But just a quick message to the fans, and I'll let you go.
Oh, our crowds the last 2 nights have been great. They love good basketball, and they love seeing good basketball. You know it is. You've been around long enough. They love good games. Obviously, they're upset we lost, but the crowd in the last 2 games were great. We just need one more because, no matter what, next Saturday's our last home game, so go out with a bang.
Listen, he's always been gracious, even when he was a player, to take time to talk to your Pratt Pack, and I'm so grateful for that. A little bit more to come here tonight as we take a look at the next class who's going to be enshrined into the East Liverpool Hall of Fame as we have a chance to catch up with a former Potter, Rick Derringer. So stay with us tonight. It's your Pratt Pack right here